John Wall and the Wizards will welcome LeBron James and the Lakers to Capital One Arena on Sunday, December 16. Catherine Free. The Washington Post, by Candace Buckner. August 10 at 6:17 p.m. Email the author. The Washington Wizards released their 2018-19 schedule on Friday. The calendar features an overseas trip, an early test against the defending champions, and limited national exposure. Here are some highlights of the upcoming 82-game calendar. Make or break start. Throughout the season, the prevailing question will be just how well will Dwight Howard mesh with the core? October gives the Wizards little time to ease into that answer. After the season tips off inside the comforts of Capital One Arena with games against the Miami Heat and Toronto Raptors on October 18 and October 20, the Wizards must go about finding their chemistry during the longest road trip of the season. The opening month will conclude with Washington on a 5-game Western Conference journey. On October 22, Washington visits the Portland Trail Blazers, where Bradley Beal scored a career-high 51 points the last time he played there. Then on October 24, the Wizards will face the two-time defending champion Golden State Warriors. Games at the Sacramento Kings, October 26, Los Angeles Clippers, October 28, and Memphis Grizzlies, October 30, follow, and this sequence bears similarities to last year, when the Wizards started the season with 2 home games before playing their next 4 out west. A year ago, Washington survived with a 4-2 record, even without starter Markieff Morris, who was recovering from an off-season surgery. And another thing about that trip: after the summer swap of Austin Rivers and Marcin Gortat, the first meeting between the Wizards and Clippers was a game sure to draw interest. So, that October 28 matchup inside Staples Center marks the first time Rivers will play against his former team and his father Doc Rivers, who is the Clippers head coach since the deal. Also, Gortat, who spent the last 5 years in Washington, will not only face off against his former Wizards teammates but also Howard. The two centers played together from 2007-2010 with the Orlando Magic. Trade for Austin Rivers signals the Wizards' overhaul in philosophy, a shift towards small ball lebron, and the Lakers coming for a rare home game in December. While the Wizards discover the West in October, they'll spend the final month of 2018 getting familiar with Eastern Conference foes. In a curious twist to the calendar, Washington will play 9 of its 16 December games on the road, with 8 coming against teams in the East. The outlier, December 19 at the Houston Rockets. However, the highlight of the month comes on Sunday, December 16, when the Wizards host the Los Angeles Lakers for LeBron James' one and only visit to Capital One Arena for the season. Home sweet home. In London, the NBA schedule always follows a rhythm, so after an exhausting road stretch, the Wizards will be rewarded with their longest homestand, theoretically covering 15 days in January. However, this homestand includes the international trip to London on January 17. Washington will play as the home team against the New York Knicks in the NBA London Game 2019. Besides that matchup, to be played inside the O2 Arena, 3 p.m. local time, the Wizards will have 8 games in the district. Wizards will play regular season game in London against the Knicks. National TV games down, but back-to-backs remain the same. One glaring positive about the 9-day Western Conference road trip in October: Washington won't have to play on consecutive nights. The first back-to-back comes on the road against the Magic, November 9, then the Heat, November 10. Overall, the Wizards will play 15 back-to-back games, the same as last year. However, the Wizards will play in only 8 nationally televised games, 5 on ESPN and 3 on TNT, down from 18 a year ago. In comparison, the Lakers will lead the NBA with national television appearances, 43. Games against the rising Eastern Conference teams. Washington will play some of the best young teams in the conference only 3 times this season. The first matchup against the Boston Celtics comes December 12, at home. Also, the Wizards' regular season finale happens inside the Capital One Arena against the Celtics. The Philadelphia 76ers will make their only visit to Washington on January 9, the second night of a home-and-home affair between the two teams. Finally, the Wizards will meet Milwaukee Bucks once on the road, February 6, and twice at home, Jan. 11 and February 2. Read more on the Wizards. Wizards reportedly signed guard Jordan McRae to two-way deal. Jarrell Christian and Pops Mensah-Bonsu form Wizards G League affiliate leadership team. John Wall and Markieff Morris keep the good deeds going. Ted Leonsis projects Wizards as possibly the deepest team that we've ever had.